how they forecast a cold winter. One day in early September, the chief of a Native American tribe was asked by his tribal elders if the winter of 2017/12 was going to be cold or mild. The chief asked his medicine man, but he too had lost touch with the reading signs from the natural world around the Great Lakes. In truth, neither of them had idea about how to predict the coming winter. However, the chief decided to take a modern approach, and the chief rang the National Weather Service in Gaylord, Michigan. Christmas funny stories and jokes. Yes, it is going to be a cold winter, the meteorological officer told the chief. Consequently, he went back to his tribe and told the men to collect plenty of firewood. A fortnight later, the chief called the weather service and asked for an update. "Are you still forecasting a cold winter?" he asked. "Yes, very cold," the weather officer told him. As a result of this brief conversation, the chief went back to the tribe and told his people to collect every bit of wood they could find. A month later, the chief called the National Weather Service once more and asked about the coming winter. Yes, he was told, "It is going to be one of the coldest winters ever." "How can you be so sure?" the chief asked. The weatherman replied, "Because the Native Americans of the Great Lakes are collecting wood like crazy." Two idiotic reactions to freezing weather. 1. This is a true story about John Porter, from New York State, USA, whose pipes in his home froze one winter. Anxious to unfreeze them, Mr. Porter backed his car up to an open window so that the exhaust would warm up the house. Heat a 2-gallon can of petrol. A little while later, and Porter, his wife and their 3 children had to be rushed to hospital suffering from carbon monoxide poisoning. 2. George Gibbs, from Columbus, Ohio, suffered second-degree burns on his head. This is what happened one freezing cold winter morning. Unable to start his car, George diagnosed the problem as a frozen fuel line, which he thought he could correct by running warm petrol through it. He then tried to heat a 2-gallon can of petrol on his gas stove in the kitchen. Yarn of the seat in stand. Freddie and John were fortunate enough to have a season ticket to watch Chelsea. They could not help noticing that there was always a spare seat next B14 to them, and they had a friend who would love to buy a season ticket, especially if all 3 could have seats together. One halftime, Freddie went to the ticket office and asked if they could buy the season ticket for B14. The officials said that unfortunately the ticket had been sold. Nevertheless, week after week the seat was still empty. Then on Boxing Day, much to Freddie and Eddie's amazement, the seat was taken for the first time that season. John could not resist asking the newcomer, "Where have you been all season?" "Don't ask," he said. The wife bought the season ticket back last summer, and kept it for a surprise Christmas present. Try before you buy. Myra was going to the Christmas office party but needed a new party dress. In the clothing store she asked, "May I try on that dress in the window, please?" "Certainly not, madam," responded the salesgirl. "You'll have to use the fitting room like everyone else." An amusing and true funny story at Christmas. A 7-year-old boy was stopped by police in northern Germany while trying to plow snow with a front loader he borrowed from his parents' business, authorities have told Woodland Guide. Officers on patrol found the boy atop the 3.5-meter-tall excavator after he had cleared the street in the town of Rheinfeld and was driving back to the parking lot. The child noticed a police car behind him and stopped immediately. He opened the door, got out and admitted immediately that he did not have a driving license, the police report said. When asked why he had begun plowing, he said his father had complained about the state of the roads. He saw the key in the ignition of the vehicle and set off. Police retrieved the key to the loader from the child and returned it, and the boy, to his mother. Short funny Christmas story. Short funny Christmas story. Just before Christmas, an honest politician, a generous lawyer and Santa Claus all got into the lift at the Ritz Hotel in London. As the lift traveled from the 5th floor down to the ground level, one by one they noticed £50 note lying on the lift's floor. Which one picked up the £50 note, and handed it in at reception? Santa, of course. The other two don't actually exist. The Christmas hold-up tale. It was Christmas Eve. The department store manager was in his office just paying off Father Christmas. All of a sudden a teenager ordered the manager to hand over the not inconsiderable takings. The manager was wondering what to do, so the teenager attempted to fire his gun in order to make the manager's mind, and open the till and hand over the money. Although the robber pulled the trigger, nothing happened, so unbelievably, he peered down the barrel and then fired again. This time it worked. Grandpa's Christmas story. Grandpa decided that shopping for Christmas presents had become too difficult. All his grandchildren had everything they needed, so he decided to send them each a check. On each card he wrote, "Happy Christmas Grandpa, P.S. Buy your own present." The funniest and shortest Christmas story place, the Newtown School Nativity Play Scene, the Inn at Bethlehem on Christmas Eve. Joseph, do you have any room at the inn? Innkeeper, overplaying his role. Yes, plenty, come on in. Joseph, jaw drops, speechless. Another Christmas tale from the in-school nativity joke. No room at the inn. Did you hear about the St. Jude's Primary School nativity play? Two children are dressed as Mary and Joseph, and they are on their way to the inn in Bethlehem. Meanwhile, on the other side of the stage, a lad in a shepherd's outfit is on a mobile phone, calling to make a reservation.